Hey guys, it's Jonah here, back with a beer review. And this one is reasonably special because this is a review within a review. We're back in Holland. We are back on the dark beers. This one is called Daily Grind. I don't know if it's going to, zoom in. There we go. It says review this beer and win a prize. That sounds good. And there's the name of the beer. Daily Grind. It's batch one. It's a coffee stout. I don't know if you read here, it says batch one, but if you read up there, it says batch 422. I'm not 100% sure what that's all about. Anyway, it is by Moersleutel, beer engineers. And in case you didn't think they were an engineer, it's got a spanner and some sort of nut on there. It's a coffee stout, which is kind of cool. I quite like that. It looks like coffee machine, and you've got the engineering sort of weird stuff in the background. Lots of coffee cups that had fallen over. It even has a scan code that you can kind of scan and enter the competition. 33 can at 6% ABV. And then it gives you some propaganda here about how to enter the competition. And it talks about, let's have a look. Our Daily Grind is not super thick knife and fork beer, but a drinkable, sessionable stout. So it's a session stout at 6%. Wow, that's pretty good. You can consider this more a classic stout with light caramel aromas, intense roast palate, creamy mouthfeel, etc., etc. And we can look in there. We have malted barley, wheat, and oats, and it's even got some coffee in this bad boy too. I quite like the look of that can. I've heard of these guys before. They're not that new, but they're not that old either. And they're all engineers. Now, I always have a soft spot for engineers because my dad is an engineer. He's retired now, but he's still an engineer at heart. Mechanical engineer as well at that. There we go. So, yep, I really like engineering. Some people would say I have a bit of an engineering kind of thing going on myself. So, really dark jet black, maybe a tiny bit of brown, finger's head, and look at that colour. It is dark for a head on a stout. Let's see if we get coffee. We're not. We're not getting coffee at all. Wow, we're getting that sort of red fruit Christmas cake kind of thing going on, sweet unctuousness, but surprisingly not coffee in the traditional sense. This is going to be interesting. I think this one is going to be a lot more fruity than it is dark. The head is fast disappearing, which is never a good sign. Look at that colour. It's almost sort of dark red kind of colour. Wow. And these guys are obviously in Holland. I can't remember exactly where they are. I tell you what I'm going to do. Let me grab down here. You can see my new haircut. The double Dutch thingy. These guys are in Alkmaar. Okay. Daily Grind coffee. If it zooms in, it might tell you some stuff. Their tasting note says the Daily Grind is an extension of Moersleutel's team. Love for coffee and dark beers. Blah, blah, blah. And we're going to look in here. It says dark brown, which I got. So it's got Munich. It's got spelt. So some ancient grains in there. Flaked oats, chocolate malt, black malt, roasted barley, melanoid and malt, brown, aroma malt, and flake barley. Wow, there's a lot going on within that malt bill there. Chin chin, pass me the gin. Oh, now I'm getting the coffee, followed by a lot of sweetness. Oh, mixed in. Yeah, we've got chocolate, very bitter chocolate, and then the dark. Oh, right at the end, we're getting dark roastedness. It is quite smooth. It is a little bit sweet. So some people, and I used to be one of those people, um, like their coffee ridiculously sweet. And that's kind of what this is, really, really sweet coffee, as opposed to, yeah, having a coffee with no sugar in. Yeah, a little bit too sweet for me. I used to have a really sweet tooth, but yeah, a few things have happened recently, as you guys probably know. Pardon me. And yeah, personally, I'm trying to cut back a bit on my sugar and let the natural flavors come through. Salt as well is the other one. Obviously not in beers, although some people do salted caramel beers, which is, in my opinion, that way the madness lies. But yeah, a little bit too sweet for me, this one. Oh, definitely getting that roastedness now. It's weird, the aroma is all about fruits, but in the actual beer, not much fruit at all. It is all about the coffee. And I quite like coffee. I like tea better, I have to say. But yeah, I can do a coffee. And coffee and alcohol go quite well together, believe it or not. Um, but yeah, that weird residual sweetness. Not sure if I like it. All the flavors here are really, really bold. And there is no backing off here. Calling this a session beer, I can only think that's from kind of the thinness, because it is quite watery. It's not like an Irish kind of stout that's kind of a bit thick. And weirdly, Irish stouts, well, traditionally were a bit stronger than they are these days. But at the moment, say a Guinness, for example, it's only about three and a bit, maybe 4%, depending if where you go. I'm not talking about the Nigerian Guinness, but yeah, this is the opposite. This is a 6% beer, but the actual mouthfeel is very thin, very watery. So it hasn't got that kind of thick unctuousness there. The oats, I guess the wheat, in this particular beer, because the flavours are so strong, so overpowering, they're not really doing too much. We're not getting that kind of silky smooth mouthfeel because the flavours are too strong. But maybe that's the way you do it. You know, like engineers in the old days who worked on the trains, proper old school engineers. That's where the word comes from. Who used to fry their breakfast on a steel shovel inside the firebox whilst the train was going along. This is the kind of thing they'd be drinking. Ridiculously strong kind of coffee. I'll tell you what, it'd be very interesting to see how much coffee goes into this bad boy. Um, because we're still getting, I mean, there's so many different malts there, and they're all dark, they're all roasty. So you're definitely getting some really dark flavors, but you can you can taste the coffee too. Let's finish this one, and you can be on your way. Look, it's the 310 Tajuma. That is crazy. Look at the lacing. The lacing is that kind of brown colour as well, and it's sticking to the side of the glass. Whoa, that will definitely wake you up in the morning. Um, yeah, do I like it? I would definitely have this again. Is it a sessionable beer in the terms of, doing a session on this beer? I do not think so. I don't think you could drink more than a couple of those in a session. Um, However, I do like the fact that they're calling a 6% beer a session beer. That the irony is not lost on me, fellas, and yeah, I've got a soft spot for this beer. So yeah, I reckon you should definitely try it just for the experience. Um, Personally, I'd say there are other stouts that I've had this year that I have enjoyed more. As I've said a few times now on this channel, during 2022, the banana beer, the banana stout, Jesus, the 10% banana stout, that is still my favourite stout of the year. So, Chamon, but these guys are cool. I'm going to enter the competition now, see if I can win. Wow, quite well carbonated. See if I can win the competition, get some free merch, because obviously Uncle Jonah loves nothing more than receiving merch. Um, and yeah, reminds me of my dad. So a tear comes to the eye. Anyway, guys, this has been Uncle Jonah. Please click like and subscribe and all the usual nonsense, which helps me with the YouTube metrics. And we'll see you real soon for more beer reviews. Cheers and beers, guys.